Good evening, my dear students. So last class we have seen that plants also has life and what are the various metabolic activities performed by plants. Okay, today we are going to see certain chemical substances which are helping the plants to perform their metabolic activity. These substances are synthesized in the plant itself and they are called as the phytohormones. They are called as phytohormones. The word phyto means, the chemical substances are called phytohormones. Phyto means plants. Hormones are the chemical substances which are going to help in doing the metabolic activities. So the term phytohormones. Now let us see what are the various phytohormones that are helping the plants. First, the growth hormone, that is the auxin. Auxin is a hormone which was discovered by Went. The initial discovery and research was done by Darwin, but later on the discovery was made by Went in the Zea mays coleoptile. And this is his experiment. It's a Zea mays means it's a maize plant where the stem tip is called as coleoptile. So what he did is he cut the coleoptile and he found that there was no growth after cutting the coleoptile. Later on he fixed the cut coleoptile in a agar block and he observed, is there any changes in the coleoptile? The coleoptile remains the same without any growth. Then in the final thing, he removed the coleoptile and he just fixed the agar block on the top of the maize stem. And as he expected, the stem starts growing. So from this it is understood by him that something in the coleoptile is responsible. Something is created in the coleoptile which moves down and it causes the growth of the whole stem. And that is what is proved here. And this is called as Went experiment. And this something is what he called as auxin. And let us see where to find the auxin in a plant. Normally, the tips of the shoot, tips of the root will be predominantly having auxin, deposits of auxin. And there are two types of auxin you can find. One is auxins which are naturally occurring in the plant itself. It is called natural auxin. Example for natural auxin is indole, acetic acid or IAA. Nowadays, as we know that auxins have a very big role in promoting the growth in plants, now we are synthesizing this auxin in an artificial condition and thus we are producing synthetic auxins. Example is 2,4-dichlorophenolic acid. 2,4-D is the short form for this. Then that is one example. Then naphthalene is another example. So like that in your textbook there is one separate box is given. Do you know box? In that they have given a list of natural and artificial auxins other than what I have explained here. Now the very important part of this study is the physiological functions. This they will ask for 4-mark question. It's a very important part. So you have to understand and learn. Simply don't mug it. First thing is, since they are seen at the tip portion, their main function is elongation. So they promote elongation of stem and coleoptile. Coleoptile means in monocot plant. Dicot plant we call it as stem. Stem, coleoptile. They also induce the root formation. That is, suppose if you are doing some stem cutting, that is, you are going to plant a rose plant. You have taken a stem cutting from your friend and you are going to plant it. You can dip it in a low concentration of auxin and then you can plant it so that it promote the root formation. But see that it should be in a very low concentration. High concentration will not help it will deteriorate the root formation. So in low concentration, it will induce root formation. Next thing is, it suppresses the growth of lateral buds. That is, when a plant is there it is just growing very tall with the help of its apical bud, isn't it? So it grows taller and taller. As if you are cutting the plant, if you are cutting the tip of the plant, immediately you can see that the plant will produce lateral branches. So then it becomes bushy, isn't it? When it grows straight, means it will be a very lean plant without any branches. But if you cut the middle apical branch, then you can see the lateral branch developing. It is because the apical buds are having auxin in them. Auxin will suppress the growth of lateral buds, and this phenomenon is what is called as apical dominance. This can be asked for 2 marks. Is a definition. What is apical dominance? Next thing is parthenocopy. Parthenocopy is a method of producing fruits without fertilization. So when fertilization is not there, seed formation will not be there. So the fruits will be seedless fruits. Nowadays, agriculture also prefers this type of fruit because people like fruits without seeds. Next is the prevents abscission. Abscission is a phenomena that is when that particular layer developed in a shoot or a leaf base, what will happen? No, the particular leaf will fall off immediately. Abscission layer will prevent the entry of water and other things. It's a solid layer made of dead tissues. Okay, so it will cut off the food and water supply. So after some time, the particular portions which are above the abscission layer will fall off. So this one prevents. So as far as auxin is there, the plant will grow nicely. Next we will move on to the second hormone, that is called the cytokinin. This hormone, from the word itself you can understand, cyto means cell, kinin means division. So these hormones, they promote the metabolic activity called cell division. And these where to find this hormone or discovery. First we will see the discovery and we will then move on there. The discovery portion, we can say it is actually discovered first in an animal, in the sperm of herringfish, later on in Siamese, then in the liquid endosperm of coconut. So even now that drinking of tender coconut, we say it's good because it is having large amount of zeatin in them. Okay, next is about the functioning of cytokinin. It promotes cell division, and as it promotes cell division, more and more cells will be formed. As a result, enlargement takes place. Then morphogenesis. It's a very important thing. We are using cytokinin mainly nowadays for this purpose. That is, in a plant breeding experiment, we know in the somatic protoplasmic fusion and all, we develop callus. And in this callus is a mass of undifferentiated cells. Okay, so when you apply a little bit of cytokinin and auxin, the callus will undergo differentiation. So the undifferentiated cell undergo differentiation into root forming cells, shoot forming cells, leaf forming primordia, like that. So organogenesis is possible by the addition of cytokinin in a callus. This is what is called morphogenesis. Then growth of lateral buds are done even with apical bud. We saw in auxin, if apical bud is there, there won't be any lateral bud growth. But if you apply cytokinin, cytokinin promotes the growth of lateral buds. Okay, now the next hormone is the gibberellin. It is also very important hormone, and it has a very interesting story of discovery. This was discovered by a Chinese farmer. His name is Kurosawa in 1926. And he discovered it in his field. He found suddenly, some of the rice plants, they grow very tall. and they look like a foolish plants. Just you imagine a rice plant with a long internodes. So like that, he can found one or two plants. Then he took those plants and he analyzed. He found that they had a fungal infection. And what is the name of the fungus is? It is Gibberella fungicori. So from the fungus, they were able to extract gibberellic acid, which was responsible later on to promote growth. Even the elongation, mainly to the interior plants, no, they won't grow very tall. Such a plants, when you apply gibberellin, you can expect nice growth. Now we can see the physiological functions of gibberellin. First thing, extraordinary elongation. That is the internode. Internode means between nodes, the space between nodes are called internodes. In case of corn and pea, like that. Secondly, the rosette plants. I will show you the picture of the. So we have seen they suddenly increase the length of the rosette plant. This is called rosette plant. The leaves are formed and it will be growing sideways. There's no elongated growth for this rosette plant. It's a cabbage plant, what I am showing now is, in such a plant, when you apply gibberellin, the plant grows abruptly and you can see there it is increasing in its length. So this type of phenomenon is what is called as bolting. This type of stem elongation is called bolting. Okay, next is it promotes development of male flowers only. In a monoecious plant, if you take in the cucurbita plant, cucurbita means Pusinicata, in such plants you can observe that it promotes male plant. So if male flowers are produced, what will happen? There won't be any fruit formation, isn't it? So that is a negative thing. Then it breaks dormancy in potatoes. That means that the potato, in the eyes of potato, you can see development of buds. It allows the bud formation. That is what is called break dormancy. Dormancy means no bud formation. It will be in a sleeping idle condition. But the application of gibberellin will promote bud formation and it helps in the growth. Next is more efficient to produce parthenocarpic fruit. Auxin, we said it is parthenocarpic, but gibberellin is seen to more effective in producing parthenocarpic fruit. Next, these three are plant growth hormones. They promote growth. Next, two hormones are there, plant hormones, which are called inhibitors. That is, they won't help in the growth, they inhibit the growth. The two hormones are abscisic acid. ABA means abscisic acid and ethylene. Now we will see about the abscisic acid. From the name itself, you can understand they promote abscission. As a result, if abscisic acid is more in a plant, you can see early leaf fall, early fruit fall, etc. Then stomatal closure. It promotes stomatal closure. And it promotes senescence. Senescence also aging. The plant will become aged soon. Aging means what? The plant will start shedding its leaves and fruits and other things. So look like a aged plant. And bud dormancy in birch tree. And it also promotes it prevents the growth of lateral buds. So no bushy tree formation. The tree will be idle and that also will shed easily. So it leads to the aging and death of the plant. Next is ethylene. It's again the unique thing is that it is the only gaseous hormone. So they can ask for one word. Name a gas hormone or true or false they can ask. They will give it as a liquid hormone, or you may have to correct it as gas hormone. Now we will see the effects. Main effect is ethylene is essential for ripening purpose. Okay, fruit ripening, and it will inhibit elongation of stem and roots in dicot plant. And that's why we are calling it as inhibitor. Senescence, it also promotes senescence, promotes abscission, Okay, then breaks the dormancy of buds, seeds and storage organs. This is a good thing. So you can apply a little bit of ethylene before you sow your seeds. So it promotes growth of the seeds. So this is all, children, about the plant growth hormone. The same way, in tomorrow's class we will some chemical substances synthesized in special organs in a human being or in an animal, and those special structures are called endocrine glands, that we will study tomorrow. Okay, the exercise questions, assignments, worksheets, etc. I will be sending in WhatsApp. Bye.